Hello. Today we're doing something a little different. This is my Samsung Galaxy Tab S, which I purchased about 7 years ago. I love this tablet. There are many new ones since then, but I love this tablet. I ran into a battery problem about a year ago. This is the original Samsung battery that was in it, 7900 milliamps. I bought another one from a supplier off of eBay, and I put it in here, and it took 48 hours of charging time for it to struggle to come up to full battery level. And ever since then, it doesn't really hold the standard full 79 milliamp battery charge that would last hours not plugged in. And this battery in this unit will also lose percentage of charge while plugged in and using it, which should not happen. So I purchased another battery recently. It's also a 7900 milliamp battery. Doesn't say Samsung on it, so it's probably a third party of some kind. Although it is exactly the same format as the original Samsung, except for the name. This one says made in Malaysia. That one's made in China. Got this from a distributor in Toronto, a couple of hours from my house. So, I've had this cover off once before, and I found that these little tools that I got originally didn't really work very well. Try to get it open. I've had to use a blade, and I've got a corner that was easier to start with my little MacGyver knife. Then I got these picks. This one has a raised edge on it. I don't know if you can see that. And it helps a lot to be able to run it along there and pop the little clasps that are on the back of this cover. It is not simple or easy by any means the way they show it happening on a couple of the videos done on YouTube. It's not terribly difficult, but you do need to be quite careful in trying to pop these little plastic clasps up, not to screw it up. You don't want to break anything. So you got to go around her a little bit careful. There's one there that is difficult. And once you get it open enough like that, you can actually take a peek inside and see where the plastic clip is, and sometimes that helps you with the amount of pressure you want to put on it. The corners are especially sensitive, and you got to be really careful with them. There. You can hear water running in the background. We're having rain here in southern Ontario today. It's January. I don't know what date it is. Until I look, I often don't know. Because after you're retired, the days don't really matter what date it is unless there's something specific that you need to do on a specific day and time. And that's why I have a Google Calendar for that. Alright. keep going, working it around. We're almost there. These are like guitar picks. I wouldn't use them. They're like guitar picks. They're not really a guitar pick. Could be used in a pinch. There. A success. Hopefully that's going to go back on okay and snap in. So this replacement battery came with the same Samsung on it. It was made in Malaysia, like the original, which is kind of like why I went for it. But I think it was probably new old stock. Might have been manufactured around the same time as this tablet, which is probably 8 or 9 years ago. Anywho, here we go. I have a bunch of tools that I got from a number of replacement kits that I purchased for cell phones, etc. And basically, you got to lift up these two cables, disconnect the power supply, take out all the screws, and reverse the process. I'm going to let the video run, and I think what I'll do is speed up sections of it in the end. That is monotonous, and you don't need to see me taking all this stuff out. There are other videos that already showed this part on YouTube. This is just my personal experience with it. I've had problems with this tape before, but like I said, it's been up once before. There. Let's stick it there for now. And I didn't think I'd have to be back in here anytime soon after putting this in last year. I figured it would go at least another 6 years like the original did, but unfortunately it has not. So prior to buying this battery, I contacted the supplier and asked them were they guaranteed, and they told me yes, it's guaranteed for a year. There's a small microchip here under the tape. I don't know if the other ones have that. Does not. Yes, other stuff under there, but not as prominent as this one. Slightly different, but slightly the same. Okay. Anyway, I digressed. There's the tape for the battery connection as well. Don't stick it on your camera lens. Alright, so this thing is supposed to just pop up. And I can't remember how it just pops up. Oh yes, I recall now. It needs a pair of tweezers, which are somewhere around here. And I forgot to prepare in advance. They're not with this. Oops, hiding under the other battery. Yeah, so these tweezers are very cheap, but you've got to get under there. They don't have a lot of strength to them, and you need to get under these wires. And they say to pull it up, except that it's not very easily pulling upable. Let me see what I can do with the edge of my MacGyver. There you go. That just caught it. It caught it, but it's not care about this part, but I do care about those contacts down there. It's a good tight fit. Alright, now there's these little clips that you have to lift up here. Now, I just can't remember. Ah, yes. These are the little white parts. These things are wearing down on the edges. Do I have another one that might be better? Nah, they're worn out as well. When you try to use these things, they wear out quite quickly. And they become frayed on the edges, and then that becomes problematic. Clean that up a little bit. Now let me see if I can get underneath that little white clip to pop that up. Also quite sensitive, and got to be really careful. And again, not so much. I'm thinking. Let me look at the bigger one first. This is a flat cable that just kind of sits in this connector. See if I put a little pressure on that corner, can I get anything to go? Nope, it's chipping. It's chipping. All right, think about it. All right, I think I've been doing it wrong. It's not the white part, it's the black part that you've got to flick up. There you go. Don't do it too hard because it comes up easy. I just couldn't remember that. And these things should come out like that. And there's a kind of a tape here with some kind of oh, it's a serial number. There's another tape on this one. Oh, wasn't too sticky. And it comes out. All right. Excuse me. Now this little screwdriver, is it actually Phillips or is it Torx? They are Phillips. Let's see if this actually fits that. I don't think it is going to because they look really small. Which one? Which one? Which one? Maybe this one. I have to try a couple of them, or I might have to get out the specialty tools. Yep, that doesn't work. And this one, oh, I got a bite. Okay. I've got a bite, so it is this one after all. I have somewhere over here a tool with a magnet stuck to it. Of course, when you want to find it, you can't. glass magnet. Put that down there near. So the screw, oh, that screw isn't even screwed in. Huh. My bad. From the last time, not screwed in. Oops. Is that it? Okay, that's it. So, number 2. While I'm here, number 3. So I can tell them apart. All right. So this is supposed to be just reverse the process. It doesn't fit exactly where I want it to go just yet. There. Is snug. Ah, snap. That's what I wanted to hear. And this one too. I'm not getting the snap there that I want. There. Don't want any bulges on the cover. Came out again afterwards. So the screws lined up. Let me check in the light. Yes. All right, looking good. So let's see what it takes to get this thing back in. It's supposed to slide underneath there. And getting it to go back in straight is also a nice challenge. Got to slide it up under and then get the clasp to come back down. And if it doesn't come down easily like that, it's because an edge is jammed up. And you don't want to break that little black clasp, because then the battery is the least of your problems. Magnet is now not my friend. There. Push that up. I like to use the plastic parts in here as much as I can, because metal parts can have a tendency to make damage. All right, so that is there. The power, is it going to snap in rightly, or I think I had a little bit of problem with arranging the clip last time. Up and down a little bit. Get it to fit in. Snap. Okay, so I am going to grab a couple of screws and just put 2 in for now. Or maybe all. This is not something you torque down really hard. So just there to secure the battery lightly, because it's sitting with snaps. And that one's not lining up. It's nice that there's always some kind of an issue. Life wouldn't be life without it. Okay. Where was the other spot that we need here? Let's try it down there. So that goes in there. I'm going to unsnug this one. I'm going to unsnug that one. And let's see if I can get the hole to line up again better on this one. Still giving me a little bit of trouble. Trying to push up here from the bottom. To get that just to line up slightly. And it has not. Now you see, it doesn't always go perfectly well, like the way the pros show, or the manufacturers or the sellers that are selling these batteries show. There is a there's a pro seller on YouTube that shows how to do this, which I'm pretty sure they've had in and out a few times before they actually shot the video. So this comes from, the plastic frame not being exactly perfect dimensions. If I had known that problem before putting the battery in, which of course you can't know, and connecting up the cables, which I maybe should have tried the screws first, I would have taken a tiny little drill and just opened up the hole here a tiny bit first. Alright, this one is not exactly fully down now. Having a problem on the opposite side with it. Ta-ding. These screws are so small, they're very hard to see. Alright, let's see if it'll turn on before I do the tapings. Or maybe I should just do the tapings anyway, hoping for the best. Hoping for the best. Really? Come on. It won't stick where you want it to stick, but it'll stick perfectly well where you don't want it to be all the time. And that doesn't seem to be wide enough to cover the whole thing, so I'm just going to position it best I can. All right, test. Let's see what she came with. Galaxy Tab S. This is likely upside down on the video. So it's got power. This tablet still is working with Android 6. This video is being taken with a Tab A that I bought almost a week ago. I was thinking I needed to upgrade because the Tab A comes with Android 9. And it's definitely not an S version, so let's see what we've got. What happened? It was me not fast enough. 56%. Okay, so it's got 56%. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to see how long it takes to charge, and I'm going to leave it right here on the table. I'm going to monitor it. If it charges up rather quickly from 56 to 100%, like say in the next hour, which it should, I'll be happy to put the back cover on again. Here we go, 56%. So, 1:06 p.m. my time. Let's see where we go from there. I just wanted to note that I am using the standard Samsung charging adapter to charge this battery. Okay, 68%, and it is 3:16 p.m. 75% at, where is it? 5:06 p.m. 83% at 7:07 p.m. 86%, and it's 8:11 p.m. Looks like it's slowing down. 89% at 9:05 p.m. 92%, 10:17 p.m. 95% at 11:01 p.m. So that's 10 hours in the making, from 56 to 95%. This is my last reading before bedtime. It'll likely be 100 in the morning. So here we are. It's 2:14 p.m. I have just restarted my Tab S. It's at 100%, and it says it has approximately 18 hours and 28 minutes left. So the test will be longevity, And I'm going to turn on a YouTube. I can find out where that is. And I'm going to play some videos. And I think I need to turn on autoplay to make it play while I don't have to keep watching it. And let me see how I'm going to do that. Come on, open up. Sometimes the sensitivity of these...
I know that starting out, I would have liked to see a guide like this to show me...
Alright, autoplay. And I don't need to listen to it. So we're going to put that down. And we're going to let it run. And we're going to see how long it takes the battery to diminish. Alright, so we're down to, excuse me, 99% already. So we're going to test this new replacement battery that I got. And of course I'm getting a lot of notifications because it's been off since yesterday when I replaced the battery. It's a ton of them. Clear it out. Alright, gonna let that go while I'm doing something else. We'll be back to check on it. Here we are. It is 4 hours in, 5 hours in. Here we are, 5 hours in, constant playing, and it's at 58%, which is 2% over what I received the battery at. That took 11 hours to charge to 100. And it's saying approximately 9 hours and 26 minutes left. I'm not sure that's true, because it started off saying 18 hours available when it was 100. So I think there's a certain percentage of reduction on that number, but it's doing pretty good. That is the best replacement battery I've had out of the two I've put in it so far. And I hope it continues to operate at least as good for 2 or 3 years.